In this video, we'll go over our late arrivals list. Every day when you arrive at registration, there will be a late arrival list for our men and for our women. These lists have those who have had their employment verified by a Compassionate Hands staff member. They have been granted permission to arrive after the check-in time, which typically ends at 5 p.m. These individuals, due to work, are going to be arriving later in the evening. However, they do need to be added to our mission tracker roster for our overnight hosts. As we look at the list, we see that there are 3 people arriving at different times. If the day of the week that they will be arriving late is listed here, and that's the day that you're serving on registration, this person needs to be added to the late list and added to the roster on Mission Tracker. So going back to our Mission Tracker page, we will simply add that individual to our late list by going back to our check-in page, selecting Provide an Overnight Shelter, adding the first name on our list. Let's do Mr. Stallings. There's Paul. He'll be showing up later this evening. We would add him in by selecting his stay type, which is free. He will not be charged. Today's date is already here. We know that he is staying at the North College campus because that is where all of our men always stay. And his bunk is already pre-selected for him. This should be the bunk that Paul is staying in for the duration of winter shelter. We see that Paul has already signed his code of conduct and he has no red flags, so he is permitted into the shelter for the evening. So we are good to go. We would say add this overnight entry, and then we would return to our late arrivals list for the next name on it to add that person to the late arrivals. By doing this, we prepare our overnight host to know who they are expecting. When they look at that roster, they know this is how many men are supposed to be here today. They see the time that Paul is supposed to arrive, which is 6:30. Then they can let us know what time did he actually arrive, so that if there is any correction or disciplinary actions that need to take place because he's showing up an hour late, then our director can address those. This also notifies our kitchen team that we need to set aside 3 additional plates for dinner that evening so that these gentlemen also receive a warm meal before they're able to take their bunks for the night. And that is our late arrivals list and how we add them to the roster on Mission Tracker.